Hello students, welcome to SA Unit 4 Notes Lesson 4. This one is IXL C4, finding measures of complementary, supplementary, vertical, and adjacent angles. Now we've already kind of found what angles would be complementary and supplementary and vertical and adjacent, but we haven't necessarily found the measures of them. So in this example, we're actually going to find numerical values associated with them. So vertical angles, don't forget, vertical angles are congruent, so they're going to be equal to one another. Complementary angles are two angles, not three, not four, not one, but two that sum up to 90 degrees, and supplementary sum up to 180. There are two angles that sum up to 180. So for this one, if I have these two angles are complementary, for instance, they add up to 90 degrees. So the algebra I'm going to use for this one to solve for f is going to be 90 minus 53. And the reason why is because this whole thing is 90 degrees. If I take away the 53, that'll leave me with what is unknown, which is the variable f. And that is going to be 37 degrees. So the answer, f, is 37 degrees. Okay, the next one, this one's 56. So we're going to do 90, take away 56, and that will give me 34 degrees. So this one's similar to the first one, so it's 34 degrees. All right. The next two, these are all three of these are supplementary, actually, these three on this page. So supplementary ones add up to 180. So because these two add up to 180 degrees, if I take away 136 from 180, I will actually find out what is left over for missing for angle G. So 180 minus 136 is 44 degrees. And feel free, you can use a calculator on these if you want. There's different calculators. There's Google, there's your phone. Desmos has one. So you can type in 180 minus 136. And we get 144. So there's a web-based Desmos, D-E-S-M-O-S. That's one of it. It's also on our website. There's a link for Desmos. But there's how we get 44. Now the next one is going to be 180 take away 57. Oops. And that's going to be 123 degrees. All right. Together they add up to 180, so we are good. All right, the last one. Ooh, this is a decimal, but it is okay. We can do that. 180 minus 57.5. I think that is, this one's 57, this one's 57 and a half, so it should be 122.5. But I'm just going to check my work real quick. So 180, take away, let's see, oops. Oh, I don't know how to get out of this. Okay. 180 minus 57. Oh, no. There we go. Whoops. 180 minus, what are we at? 57.5. And we get 122 and a half. All right, and that was it. Oh, it looks like I'm missing a box for this, so I will just put it in a box, and that will be the answer. All right. Okay, so the next one here, it's asking you find the value of f. F is a vertical angle, and what we know about vertical angles is that they are congruent. Therefore, 70f is the measure of angle F is equal to 77 degrees because it is opposite the 77. So the measure of angle F is 77 degrees. We'll put that in a box, and we are good to go. All right. That other 70 is just there to confuse you. What you could have done was you could have made your way around here. You know that this is 180 degrees because it's a straight line. So we could have done 180, take away 70, take away 77, and that would have been 180 take away 147, which is 33 degrees. That would have gone here. And then working this way, 33 and 70 is 103. That would have made that one have to be 77 because of this line. But I'm looking just at these vertical ones. I know vertical are congruent, so I just know that right away that F, the measure of angle F, would have to be 77 degrees. The next one, this one is not supplementary or complementary or vertical, but it is adjacent. What I know about adjacent angles is that they add up to the total of the two. So in this case, if I know that this whole thing is 74.2 and I take away 46.6, it will then give me what's left over for W. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up 74.2 and take away 46.6 from that. So 74.2 minus 46.6, and I get 27.6. So 27.6 is the result. So 27.6 degrees. And just to double check my work, if I add 46.6 to 27.6, that will equal 74.2. That's called the angle addition postulate. The fact that two angles added together equal the sum of the two angles. Okay. All right. The next problem. Let's see. What is the value of n? So the value of n. Well, here's what I know. I know that. Let's see. I know that this angle here, 69 degrees, is vertical to these two right here. So that means that this whole thing is 69 degrees. So just like I did above, I had two angles and I took one away to find the other one. So here I'm going to have 69 degrees, take away 25. That's going to be equal, hold on one sec. 69 degrees minus 25 is 44 degrees. So the answer here is 44 degrees. Now there's other ways I could have done this. I could have said, for instance, or could have said the measure of angle n plus 25 degrees equals 69 degrees. And I could have taken away 25, and that would have given me the same thing because I would have said that these two angles added together are equal to the vertical angle across from it, which is the same logic here. Same logic. So the measure of angle n is equal to 44 degrees. And that would have ended that problem. Okay. All right. And that's it for the diagrams. Now, here are just some word problems. There's a whole bunch here. They'll go quick, but it just says if the measure of an angle is 25 degrees, what is the measure of its complementary angle? Well, the word complementary, remember, means two angles that sum or add to 180 degrees. No, sorry, complementary is 90. So if I did 90 take away 25, that'll give me my other angle. So 90, 80, 70, 65 degrees. So the answer is the complement. It's called the complement. It's called the complement. The complement to 25 is 65. All right. Same thing for the next one. So I'm going to do 90 minus 14. So the complement is 90, 80, 76 degrees. And that's it. Now the next one is supplementary. So that means two angles, not that they have the sum of 90 or that they add to 90, but instead that they add up to 180. So I'm going to do 180, take away 163, leaves me with 17 degrees. So the answer to this one is 17 degrees. Now the next one, again, we're back to complementary. So 90, take away, 16.8. 90 minus 16.8. And this one is just a decimal, but it should be 63.2. 63.2, let me check that. 90 minus 16.8. Oops. Is 73.2. Wait, 16.8. What did I do wrong? 90 minus 16.8 is 73.2. Sorry, I'm off, but can't believe I made that mistake. 73.2. Yep, because 90 minus 16 is 74. Take away 0.8, and it leaves me with 73.2 degrees. All right. Next one, the measure of an angle is 89.9. What's its supplementary? So we're going to do 180, take away 89.9. Now, if I took away 90, so let's take a look. 180 minus 90 is 90. I'm taking away just a little bit less than that. Literally just a little bit less. So it's going to be 90.1. 90.1 degrees. 90.1 degrees. All right, and that's the supplement. Okay, these last ones, these are like when you get into the 80 and 90 range. So they're a little bit difficult, but it's okay. It gives us a little bit of a word problem. It says, an angle measures 70 degrees less than the measure of its complementary angle. What is the measure of each angle? Well, complementary angles are two angles that when added together equal 90 degrees. But it says that one of the angles is 70 less than the measure of its complementary angle. That means that if it's 70 less, let's say that one of the complementary angles is 70. That would mean that the other one was 0. Well, that can't be an option, right? We can't have 0 and 70. But let's say we had an angle that was 5 degrees. Well, the other one would have to be 75. So an angle measures 70 degrees less than the measure of its complementary angle. So see how 5 is 70 less then 75. That's awesome. So we actually can put a check mark here. We did that. But the problem is that they do not add up to 90 degrees. They only add up to 80. So let me add a little bit more here. So let me make that one 10. We're on a roll. Look at these added up to 70. These added up to 80. And these will actually add up to 90. 10 and 80. 10 plus 80 equals 90. Okay, 10 plus 80 equals 90. And that's what makes it complementary. But at the same time, they are 70 less. The first one is 70 less than the measure of its complementary angle. So its complement is 80, and 10 is definitely 70 less than that. All right. So how do we get this? Well, here's what's cool. If it's 70 less than that, that means that you would need to add 70 for it to match up. So instead of doing guess and check, what I can do is I can write an equation like this. X plus 70 plus X equals 90. So whatever my angle is, if I were to add to it, how can I do this? Yeah, that will work. Wait a minute. Okay, let's do this. An angle measures 70 less than, so let me put a minus 70 here. Okay, so that's 70 less than the other angle. So if this angle was 80, this angle would be 10, which is what we found because it is 70 less than that. So what I do is I set up an equation, I combine like terms, so 2x plus 70, minus 70 equals 90. So I'm going to add 70 to both sides, and I get 2x equals 160, and I divide by 2, and I get x equals 80 degrees. So that is one of the angles. That would mean that this is 80, that this one is 80, and this one is 10. Now, if you don't like that and you go, oh, Mr. A, I set it up a little bit different. I said, listen, if it needs to be 70 less than the measure, then I would need to add 70 just to make it right. Well, let's see what happens when I do that. So x plus 70 plus x equals 180. Well, I'm going to combine like terms, so 2x plus 70, equals 90. My bad, 90. So I'm going to do combine like terms, 2x plus 70 equals 90. Take away 70. So we get 2x equals 20. And I divide both sides. The pen stopped working. Hold on. Okay. Let me clean that up. Two x plus 70 equals 90. Take away 70. I get 2x equals 20. And now, divided by 2, x equals 10. And so that is now the new x. So x is 10. And so 10 plus 70 is 80. So I would have gotten the same answers no matter how I did it. Okay? So if you have 10, then you would have solved for this one 10, and you would get 10 plus 70, which is 80, versus solving this way, you get 10 because you get 80 minus 70 is 10, and then this one's 80. So it doesn't matter which one you solve for. Both would work. Okay? This next one, we have an angle measures 84 less than the measure of its supplementary angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up like my traditional one. So x minus 84 plus x equals 180. So 2x minus 84 equals 180. Because I'm saying that this is 84 less than the measure of this angle. And they're supplementary, which means they add up to 180 degrees. So now I'm going to do add 84. And I'm going to get 2x equals 264. And I'll divide both by 2. And I get x is equal to 132 degrees. So in this case, if something is 84 less than that, so let's do 132 minus 84. That would make the other angle, whoops. I'm sorry, I'm doing 180 minus 130, 132 minus 84. That gives me my other angle, 48. So if I do 132 plus 48, because that's the angle, 132 is one of the angles. And then the other one is 84 less than that, aka it's 48. So if I add that angle to it, I get 180. So here's your two angles, 132 and 48. They are a difference of 84 because they are 84 less, but they add up to 180. So 132 and 48. 132 and 48. All right. Last one. The measure of an angle is 17 times, that's multiplication, the measure of its complementary angle. What is the measure of each angle? So it's 7 times the measure of its complementary. So this angle is 7x plus x, because whatever it is, the measure of its complementary angle, the measure of an angle is 17 times the measure of its complementary angle. What is the measure of each angle? So this adds up to 90 degrees. So we're going to have 8x equals 90. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, it's supplementary. So it adds up to 180. So this is the measure of an angle is 17 times. It was 17 times. Let's put a 1 here. 17 times multiplication. The measure of its complementary angle. So together they're complements. So they add up to to 180. So now I have 18x equals 180. I'm going to divide both by 18. So x is equal to 10 degrees. So our answers are 10 and 170, because 10 times 17 is 170. So together they add up to 180, but individually this angle, 170, is 17 times the measure of its complementary angle, which is 10. Oh, it is complementary. Darn it, I messed up again. This is not 180. Complementary, it's 90. It's getting too late. I'm getting tired. Let's see. So that's going to erase that. That's going to erase that stuff right there. So let's just one more time. Adds up to 90. This is 18x equals 90. Divided by 18 is 5 degrees. Therefore, the answer is 5. And 5 times 17 is 85, which is half of 170. And so, yes, wait, 85, 5 times 17 is 50, and 35, yeah, it's 85. Okay, some quick math. Okay, And that is the end of that video. And this is, again, C4. We have one more video, and then we are done with this unit. Okay, so work on C4, find measures of complementary, supplementary, vertical, and adjacent angles. Good luck.